are on our way to Middle Tennessee from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And I want to remind you that I am taking these pictures and videos with a handheld camera riding on a motorcycle. So that's just part of it, and this is what you get while you're on the move. We stopped along the road to put on some warmer clothes. Even though it's August 16, it sure gets cool when the sun goes down. And we are on Highway 191, headed for Rock Springs, Wyoming. Well, we made it to the day's end, and it was kind of sad. We had to tell our friends goodbye at this point. They'll be heading on to Oklahoma, and we are headed towards Cheyenne. It is a long way to Cheyenne, and it is hot. The trains out here are so long. We stopped in Rawlins to visit the Wyoming State Prison, which is now a museum. Can you believe when this place was first built, it didn't have electricity or running water and very little heat? That is just spooky. of the inmates' art was, well, an artist. Here's some of his artwork. Well, I'm glad to get back on the road. I told Buck that was my last prison tour. I'm ready now to just sit back with my camera and look at this beautiful Wyoming countryside. As you sit back here with your camera, there is always something unique about the scenery. Here on I-80, on the way to Cheyenne, the main thing you see are the snow fences. They come in all designs and patterns. And of course, when you realize the amount of snow behind them, what they're there for, well, that's Wyoming in the winter. This Lincoln Memorial can be seen right off of I-80 between Cheyenne and Laramie. And why this memorial here? Well, this is the highest point on the old historic Lincoln Highway, which ran coast to coast. And I gotta say, I'm kind of proud that I got this picture from the back of a motorcycle, even though I did have to zoom in on it. Little America is a very nice hotel chain and travel center. We stopped to look around. We decided to stay at the Plains Hotel in Cheyenne, historic since 1911. After checking into our room, it was a beautiful summer night. We wanted to check out some of the nightlife and walked up Central Avenue.
driving, 3-day weekend. Clock strikes 5, let the party begin. Come on, boys, load the toys in the back of my truck. We're meeting at Goose Lake, bonfire tailgate. Pitch a few tents, I can hardly wait. We gotta make a pit stop at the local bait shop. Pick up our girls, and we're ready to rock. We got some jingle.
Well, the next day I had to go into the Wrangler. The most beautiful clothes in there you've ever seen since 1943.
Then later tonight, sneak off in the woods. Ain't a worry in the world when life's this good. Worked all week, now it's time to play. Hell yeah, it's gonna be a good Friday. Black crows on the radio, living it up out on Buttermilk Road. Won't be doing much of nothing but mudding every hill and hole.
Well, it's time to start riding again. I had always wanted to see Wyoming and Cheyenne, and so now I have. But now we are headed to the state of Nebraska.
I'm ready to blow. We got some jingle, a pocket full of change, gonna head out of town where our phone's out of range, to a little spot where nobody knows. Then later tonight, sneak off in the woods. Ain't a worry in the world when life's this good.
We stopped in Northplatt, Nebraska at the Cody Park Railroad Museum, where you can climb aboard number 3977, which was Union Pacific's largest steam locomotive, built in 1943.
We're gonna keep it up till the morning light. Nobody's quitting, everybody's getting lit by the fire tonight. We got some jingle, a pocket full of change, gonna head out of town where our phone's out of range, to a little spot where nobody knows. Then later tonight, sneak off in the woods. Ain't a worry in the world when life's this good. Worked all week, now it's time to play. Hell yeah, it's gonna be a good Friday. Hell yeah, it's gonna be a good Friday. You see, 'cause there ain't no receptionist, and my doctor don't have a degree. Well, I come in here to mend a broken heart and to get some sympathy. I pull up my favorite bar stool with the doctor from 10 till 3. Well, Dr. Jukebox, make my dosage strong. I'm feeling better with every country song. In my heart, 1/4 at a time. And when my heartache finally stops, I thank Dr. Jukebox. Woo!
See if we can get the This is the interior of this huge steam engine. Here's where they sat, way over here, and all of this is in the middle. All that is in the middle. You're not even seeing Look at all those red. It's unbelievable, the size of this thing. This is all just in the front. And you're not even looking. Here's the fire and the coal. Wow, this is all by coal. Look at all these red handles for steam. Oh my gosh, what an operation it would take to know how to even use this.
Pull the whistle.
That's the whistle. Ooh. Oh, it's all run by steam and coal. What a massive structure this is. Just the inside of this thing is huge. And that's where they shoveled in the coal.
That firebox is way back through there, man.
Oh my God, that's like...
Hold a lot of wood, wouldn't it?
Jeez. That's like a... It's like a huge room in there. Oh my gosh.
This is the dead
Unbelievable.
man's handle. If they ever turned loose of it, the train would stop.
So they had to hold on to it the whole time?
They had to always hold on to it. You turn loose of it, the train just slow down and stop.
So, how did they manage to do that?
They was some tough dudes now. I guarantee you they were.
What a train to be in control of.
They was tough.
Gee. Closed heater open. Burner blowback. Tank blowback. Atomizer. Manifold shut off. Blower shut off.
It's got a foot warmer over
Well,
here.
here sounds like a good one.
A dynamo.
Dynamo. Water glass. Wow. Okay, that's the seat where one of the drivers. This little seat behind is the one who kept the coal shoveled in. There's one on each side. Huge water spout. And this is the mail car. This is the mail car where they threw the mail out without ever stopping. 1350. Well, as you will probably notice, I'm a little partial to the mail car and the U.S. mail history because, well, I was a mail carrier. And so I get pictures of post offices and mail memorabilia.
Showing them where they drive the shoulders back.
this is in here. This is a huge room. I mean, you could work in here. This is the mail car, westbound. Train bulletin. Eastbound trains. Depart on Central Time.
Here's the mail bag.
Yeah. Train westbound. This is huge in here. This thing was on the move. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's the monster when it was in use. This is a beast. I mean, this is, you could see you could work in here, it'd be moving to and fro.
I'm sure you get used to it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like being in a building.
How you like the bicycle here now?
The what?
It's a railroad bicycle.
Oh, there's the railroad bicycles. You always see them pedaling.
Yep, you pedal that thing. It's the hand pump.
Okay, now tell this story right there.
This was a gizmo for only for passenger cars. It wasn't for freight. But if they got stuck on track and couldn't get off the track, then they'd set this thing up, you crank it into place and everything, and it derail the next train come along to make it jump the track.
Hand-operated rail drill.
Oh, well, that's a drill. Okay, that's the same thing, but it's a little different.
And here's the mail bag.
There's mailbag. We're going to go on back to the mailbag.
Okay. Here are the mail bags. Believe.
Mary Post Office.
And here's the mail car. Up there's sorting the mail. And all this is on the move. Look. There's mail bag, bags. Mail bags. Wow, the mail must go through. And look at this. Oh, how well do we know this old deal? This is the case. The mail cases. Look at this.
Town and state.
Yeah, looky here. The town and state, okay. Michigan, Pennsylvania, Texas. Not sure how this all works. Dakotas, MC and seats 76 states. Can you imagine casing all the different things on this? The cases, that's amazing.
You see the mailbag, the way it's set up between these two arms?
Now let's see.
See the way it's set up between those two arms?
Yeah.
Okay, now this thing right here, they would stand right here. Of course, the door would open. This little thing handle they'd pull down, and that little field they had right there caught that mailbag.
Let's see. You'd open this door.
Yeah. And you'd grab this wooden handle.
Grab the wooden handle there.
And pull it down, and it swung this catcher out far enough that he'd grab that mail bag as it's going down through there.
So they'd grab up the mail bag, and that would be the mail that they'd start sorting.
They'd start sorting, they'd take whatever was for that town and just throw it out, and the postman had to come get it. Unless he had bazooka bubble gum. If he had bazooka bubble gum, he'd get a lot of volunteers.
And then the kids grabbed at the mail bag and took it. What a... Alright, and here's the bathroom. The
water sink here. You go
Water
to potty
cooler.
there and then just flush it and then go out on the track.
Yep. The turlet.
The toilet. And all the fuses white. Okay, now we're going to the caboose.
Okay, this is the caboose where they slept, or no, where the kitchen. They could sleep there. That's what they cooked on. Well, they had plenty of coal for the stove, didn't they? They didn't have to worry about that power. And then back here, and this part was where a bunk for sleeping. A bunk for sleeping. And that's the next car. This is the caboose. First aid kit. Sink. Bathroom. This is just a little house. I never realized this was a house on wheels. Well, I wanted to get this part right up here. This is where somebody would sit up there and watch the track. Now you could see. I get that part now.
And then the brake
Windows.
job here was back here was to check the brake pressure. And if the brake pressure's on, the train was still moving too fast. His job was to run out here, grab this wheel, and start cranking. Make it stop. And it pulled on that arm right there. It had metal shaft went all the way down underneath. Swing out, so it'd swing out. They'd swing it out and it'd catch the mail.
There's the mail catcher. Catch it. This was a rolling post office. I never realized how that worked. I always heard about the bags being slung off and picked up, but the inside, as we have already seen, it's a rolling post office where they literally case the mail from city to town, cross state lines, everything. Amazing.
If you wanted to mail one letter and it was stopped, you just raised that up.
Okay, we're going to go into, this is the diesel. The other one was steam. Wow, what a difference. Diesel, now this is newer, right?
Yes.
This is a newer animal.
Still a very old unit.
You can see the difference. Here's I don't know. Well, at least they got a window. That other one, I just couldn't conceive of how they could see or know what was happening.
Yeah. Do you see where the crew sleeps? Here's what I was talking about. This is the dead man. It's got a pedal in this one. If your foot comes off from it, the train stops.
So you had to have your foot on that at all times.
All times. And you had a deal to... No, that is. Anyway, you're idle. That's... Apply that. This is your...
And they call it a horn and,
horn.
not a whistle. And not a whistle. The other one, we saw a huge whistle over there. Yeah, well, this one, you could at least... I mean, it's huge in here, but that other was just... Okay, this mail car, 80 to 100 feet long. The mail. What an ordeal. Go for it. That's Buck down there. He found a moving part bell. This is a beast. A beast. One on the left was coal powered. This big one in the middle, yellow, looks older, but it's diesel. Boo!
Boo. Do you know how much this would be worth at $120 a ton?
What, coal?
Scrap iron.
Oh, the scrap iron. No, did you find out? We left the train behind us and stopped at Gothenburg, Nebraska, exit 211 off of I-80, where we saw how the early sodbuster settlers lived and survived. There's a Pony Express station also in Gothenburg. And as you know, I told you earlier, I was a mail carrier, so I had to go by and see this. They had some pretty great pictures in there about how these early settlers lived. They were a really tough bunch of people. And here is the largest sodbuster plow in the world. Well, we're back on the bike again, got back up on I-80, and we're headed east, straight across Nebraska. I showed you what it was like riding across Wyoming. Well, now we're seeing a very different part of this beautiful USA. I'm trying to share with you what I am seeing from the seat of a motorcycle. And Nebraska in August and the beautiful farmland is really quite beautiful. After riding about 150 miles, we came across the Wessel's Living History Farm, so we decided to stop there. This is a fantastic farm that shows you what life was like in Nebraska in the 1920s. It is a wonderful place to stop if you get a chance. It's in York, Nebraska.
said it's over, over and over. Why you blowing up my phone? I'm out with my friends, starting over again. You couldn't leave me well enough alone. Why you blowing up my phone? I'm out with my friends, starting over again. You couldn't leave me well enough alone. You heard I'm talking to someone new. Oh, face it, girl, you know that's killing you. And now suddenly you wanna come running back. You threw me away.
Buck really enjoyed the tractor museum since he is an Oklahoma farm boy.
I ain't your boomerang. You wanna take another shot cause you're having a second thought. You're calling me right out of the blue. I guess you think that I'll keep running back to you. No, boomerang.
And here is the man who started the farm, Dave Wessel. Awesome. Look at this. Wow. What a porch. And here's the yard. Oh, this place is beautiful.
Nobody lives here. It's just volunteers that come in. We have poultry out.
This is a beautiful place. And here's Buck going to describe to me the workings of this Nebraska farm life.
Gearbox. You can see it kind of going up and down a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, you see this little gizmo they got tied up right here?
Yeah.
Alright, that actually fastened. You're not filming this, are you?
Yeah, I am.
See, that actually, you did away with this handle, and it fastened in right here. That little thing right there fastened there. And just worked this pump up and down, just like you was sitting there with this hand deal, pumping it. And for stock tanks, they put this little pipe thing, it just fit right here.
Oh.
And it'd run out in the stock tank and then fill up.
Oh.
And,
Cool.
And then, but because this got a water tank, this well thing.
Where's the water tank? Oh,
right here,
is that
this little building?
That's what the water tank is there.
This is to fill up the house so they had running water in the house.
And there, that's the water tank.
Here.
Oh, I never knew that's how all that worked. Wow.
Well, this wouldn't be
Water.
mounted this low down. This would actually be mounted up there toward the top where water would run out of it straight into
This right here, all this apparatus
this whole apparatus right here
would be
mounted up there as high as the tank, and then this pipe would just run over and fill it up there.
oh,
Now, the question would be is how you keep that thing from turning 300 mile an hour in a high wind.
yeah,
The angle of those blades,
yeah.
the wind would actually catch that coming, but they have figured out through the years that also the same wind that would turn that is also the wind they'd have to cut through on the back side of the fan. So therefore it only turn at a certain speed. It's self-governing. And at that angle with that deal at it, it just kept it turning the same speed regardless of whether you had a light wind or a big old heavy wind.
Well, the next morning we're still in Nebraska. We got off the interstate and got on Highway 81. And you kind of look for themes to take pictures of. Well, this part of the country, it's the watering systems. They're everywhere.
The first time I saw her, I knew how our future would go. My life began that homecoming night. I asked her to dance. She gave me that smile and said yes. The answer is yes. The answer is clear as a bell, easy to see. Is this a love that was just meant to be? Yes. Facing her mama and daddy 2 years from that day, we looked so nervous, they knew what we wanted to say. We were so young, they could have said
Storm clouds are gathering up all around us. We've got one chasing us from behind.
The answer is yes. The answer is clear as a bell, easy to see. Is this a love that was just meant to be? Yes. Facing her mama and daddy 2 years from that day, we looked so nervous, they knew what we wanted to say. We were so young.
Well, we made it into Kansas, and remember I told you kind of have to find a theme for your pictures, so I decided I'd look for windmills. And I was looking for that special one, which I did find on up the road, and it was quite a find indeed. Well, the windmills are yet to come, but on Highway 36, which is what we are on, it's known for the Pony Express Highway. And we rode into Marysville and found one of these Pony Express stations.
Twins have a case of the flu. With what I know now and what I dreamed then.
Well, we left Marysville, got back to riding again, and we came across this side road, which is just screaming for some pictures. I always try to get that perfect picture of the motorcycle on every trip, so I took some shots and I looked them over and I decided on this one right here. So what do you think?
The answer is yes. The answer is yes.
Okay, stop. Looky here. This is Kansas on Highway 36. You got the windmills in the picture now. You can hear the wind blow. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Here he comes, the dust with him. But that's just part of, just kind of manure spreader. Ah, it's good. The road's a little dusty though. Hey, not too bad. All right, time to get on. We're racing a hailstorm. If you ride, you have heard, race the rain, ride the wind, chase the sunset. We have been racing the rain all day. I've been on my windmill hunt for many miles now, and just knew there was a special windmill for me somewhere down the road. But we are beginning to get concerned about this storm moving in.
There were places you just had to see. Country girl with city dreams. I heard you fell in love up there. Marrying a millionaire. My wrong by any other name. You would always be the same girl I used to hold.
Well, we made it to Hiawatha, Kansas, and here we found the Historical Museum and, would you believe, Windmill Lane. Well, I was so excited. There's 42 windmills in here, and I was trying to get all the pictures I could, but this storm was right on top of us and getting ready to pour on us any minute. Buck was anxious and wanting me to hurry up.
Rose, I wonder how you are these days. Do you ever think of me and Tennessee? Oh, those nights I held you in my arms on your daddy's farm when we were 17. There were places you just had to see. Country girl and city dreams. I heard you fell in love up there. Marrying a millionaire, but wrong by any other name. You will always be the same girl I used to hold. All those moonlit nights down Lover's Lane, I still see you there. Smell the flowers in your hair.
Okay, I'll hurry and get some video, because look at that storm behind us. Came across this museum of windmills. It's awesome. Look down there. Oh my gosh, you got windmills of every kind. I don't have a chance to get them all, because we are fixing to have a storm here. Wow, isn't that awesome? Oh my gosh, look at that sky. Ooh, these are awesome though. Look at that. Wow, it is pouring down rain now. We have avoided this rain all day. Found this Best Western when we stopped to look at a museum full of windmills. And there's some of the skies. Pouring down rain. We found this Best Western. Wow. How blessed we are. We pulled into under the carport and it started raining. Here's the thunder. Pretty neat. And there's some of the windmills I have been seeking. And look at that. Wow. My gosh. What we avoided in the nick of time. Here's what's coming down right there. And there's the highway we were going to be on in about a minute. Whew, lightning out there. Well, we rode 366 miles today, and this is what I looked like. Buck insisted I do not leave this picture out. Well, Highway 36 is also called the Pony Express Highway. We are getting ready to cross the Missouri River and head into St. Joseph, Missouri, to check out some of the Pony Express history. The Pony Express is a history of adventure. It carried the mail across the country from the Missouri River to the Pacific coast, 2,000 miles. And the Eastern Station was right here. It started right here in St. Joseph, Missouri, at this place in 1860. As I said earlier, being a mail carrier myself, the Pony Express always really interested me. This really is a great museum to come to check out the early settler life. We left St. Joe, Missouri and headed south for Kansas City. We crossed over the Missouri River again and headed out across Missouri for St. Louis, which turned out to be a long, long ride. And then we found a little town called St. Genevieve right on the Mississippi River. Turns out it is the oldest town in Missouri. Awesome, historical, quaint, touristy, population 4,000.
Highway M, Missouri.
Mississippi River. We are going to do that in the morning. I can't wait. Well, for now, we're going to head back into town, find a room, and find something to eat, and just check out the town a little while. Well, it's a beautiful day this morning. We're going to grab some coffee and go find that ferry again. We sure found a nice place to stay last night. And here you can see that the waters rose to 49.74 feet in the Great Flood of the Mississippi River in 1993. Well, here we are at the ferry. We'll be crossing the Mississippi River from Missouri into Illinois. I can't wait to get going. Buck fixing to come down the ramp. Coming down here in a minute. They're getting this repaired, I guess. It's on the Mississippi River. I'm standing on the Missouri side. And we'll be crossing over into Illinois. Beautiful day, absolutely. wait for me. Oh, this thing is turning us around. Wow. Oh my gosh, there's the land already.
Now I should be able to get off this. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. You going one way?
Yeah.
$7.
$7 for all this.
Yep.
Not bad. Way to get across the river. And there's the other side, right over there. You can ride back and forth across this several times. Wow, I've never been in the middle of the Mississippi River before. We're in the middle.
Stops and rules, we didn't need 'em. Hoping to find new lines to cross. I said, hell yeah. You said, hell yeah. Our only worry in the world was where to stop. To dust our jeans off back when we were too young to care. Nothing really mattered. We could go anywhere. Flying
You can see it move.
Now it's Harley's and Jesus and everything in the world is American.
Wow.
Turned out okay, and on any given day we get the hell out of Dodge in our own Chevrolet. Too young to care. We got everything we need that'll get us there. We're still flying high on a wing and a prayer, like we're too young to care. Too young to care.
We're almost in Illinois. Here's where we're headed for. There's, I'm not sure what the thing is. What a day for a ferry. Man, oh man. It's an absolutely beautiful day. We're the only ones on it. Bumpy here. Pretty cool. Pretty neat. Off we go. And we're across now. We are on the Illinois side. What a beautiful day. Look at that river. Oh my gosh. It's just gorgeous. What a day. I mean, this is a number 10 day. Couldn't be more beautiful. Look how they turned that thing around. That is so neat. He said this service has been going for 40 years.
Is it recording when the dot's red? Okay. Yes, you can. I'm still sitting in the middle of the road up here. The bike's in the middle of the road. You crazy lady.
Well, crossing the river where we did, we ended up on a very remote back road. And quite frankly, we really didn't know where we were. We went to this little town called Modoc, which I kind of wondered if it really even existed anymore because I didn't see one person. Well, we were still trying to find our way out of here, and we came across where the road was closed. So we turned around and came into this little town called Ruma. Well, we finally found Highway 3, which is a scenic highway, by the way. It is also called the Great River Road and the southern branch of the Lincoln Heritage Trail. So it is a special highway, and it was beautiful. Southern Illinois is the confluence of the Mississippi and Ohio River, basically where the Ohio River empties into the Mississippi. So we're crossing these mighty rivers one more time, which is going to take us into Kentucky. Of course, we still have to ride to Nashville, but we will make it home today. I told Buck I wanted one last picture. It has been a wonderful trip.